Hi, welcome to the channel. We are starting Unit 2 today. We have already done Unit 1 in our previous lecture. So now we are continuing. Let's start with Unit 2. Before heading, let us see what do we need to learn in Unit 2. So in Unit 2, there are two sections. The first section is conditional statement and the second is iterative statement. So conditional statements are the statements in which will help us to take decision. In the conditional statement we will come across logical operators, conditionals, nested conditional, along with we will see some other uh, operators as well. And in the iterative statements we will look majorly about loops, we will look for loop and while loop, we will also learn about nested loop and other things. So without any delay, let's start our lesson. Let's start with conditionals and iterative statements. So, conditional statements. Before going ahead, let me give a brief overview about conditional statements. So, the conditional statements are the statement which help us to take decision according to the given condition. For example, if we say that we will go to play, we will go to play if it is sunny and it is not running. If is it raining, then we won't be able to uh, go to play. So in Python or any other programming language, whenever such cases will be discussed, so such cases are known as conditional cases, and under this lecture we will look over those. So the first thing we will study is modulus operator. If you remember from last lecture, I had already taught modulus operator. Modulus operator help us to get the remainder. So the modulus operator, and it is shown by percentage symbol, returns the remainder when one number is divided by other. So the syntax is remainder, that is dividend divided by divisor. So let's perform the same in VS Code. Print. When you will divide 7 by 2, the result you will be getting is 1. So let's see the same. Yes, the answer is correct. So 5 examples has been given over here. So when you divide 10 by 3, the remainder is 1. When you divide 15 by 4, the remainder is 3. When you divide 5 by 20, the remainder is 0. And when you divide 7 by 2, the remainder is 1. For example, we did the same here. And in the last, when you divide minus 5 by 2, the remainder is 1 because Python returns non-negative remainder. So make sure of this. So here is given when we will be using modulus operator. So for example, whenever we need to check whether a given number is odd or even, we can use this modulus operator, because whenever you will divide any number by 2, if it is an odd number, then it will be completely divided and the remainder will be 0 in such cases. But when you will divide by any odd number, the remainder will be 1, because the reason is even number is represented by 2n, whereas odd number is represented by 2n plus 1. Let's perform the same over here. So when you divide 8 by 2, the remainder must be 0. Let's check the same. Yes, it is 0. But when you divide 9 by 2, the remainder is 1. The second most cases that you will use modulus operator is whenever we need to check leap year, we can divide the given year by 4, and if the result is 0, we can say that it's leap year, although there we need to check other conditions as well. I will be talking about leap year in the coming part of the lecture or in the next lecture, whichever is earliest. So if let's say 2024 was a leap year, so let's see, whenever you divide by 4, the remainder must be 0, and yes, it is. To extract digit, let me open the whiteboard and help you with this. Let's take any number. Let's take 17. So whenever you will divide any number by 10, so the last digit we will get as a remainder. So you will get the last digit. Let's prove it the same. So whenever you will divide, so it will be 1, and then you will be getting 7 as a remainder, and you got the answer. So whenever you will solve any questions in which you need to find last digit, or for example, you need to reverse the number or any such applied question, you can perform this mechanism and you can get the answer. For cycling value, so whenever a set of, so I am explaining this over here. For cyclic value, for example, taking a list, say A, B, and C. So in this list, there are 3 distinct elements, and I want the third element, but let's say someone entered 6. So it will perform the modulus operator and you will get 3 over here. So it's beneficial in while operating a list, and we will learn more about this while operating list data type. For divisibility check, we can perform this, because if any number is divided by any other number perfectly, then the remainder must be 0. For example, if you divide 6 for example, if you divide 6 by 3, so it will go, the quotient will be 2 and the remainder must be 0. So whenever the remainder is 0, it implies that the dividend that in our case is 6, it will be completely divided by the divisor. So these are the operations you can perform via modulus operator. These things will help you while solving questions. So let's come to our first question of the day. Let's first have a look at the question in a proper manner. So the question asks us to last digit extractor. It's of the topic last digit extractor. Write a Python program that extracts and displays the last digit of a given number using modulus operator. Good question. So user will be entering any number, and we need to say that what was the last number of that. So let's solve the question. We will be using modulus operator while solving this question. Before heading ahead, let me help you with building the concept for this question. Let's say user inputs 67. So if you divide any number by 10, so what happens when you will divide by 10? The result will be 6 point something, because 10, 6 are 60, and 7 will be remainder in this case. Let's take 751. So when you divide the number by 10, then 70 you will get as quotient. 75 you will get as quotient, and 1 must be the remainder. So we need to implement the same logic in our program. So let's declare a variable num and input int, enter a number. So here num is an variable. Input function is used to take input from user, and int via writing int we are type converting the, I think we need to write int at the data stage so the type conversion will work. Yes, now it will work because by default the data type of input is a string. So last digit equals to num modulus 10 print. So I would like to teach a new concept today, and the concept is f string. So what's f string? I will give you a real life example and I will demonstrate the same here. So that it will do. Let's give the input 751, and yes. So here you can see that the input we are getting is 1, but whenever you will look over this program, you can find it a bit clumsy, and what's 1 is representing. So in order to make the output appealing or more understandable, so we can could have written here so that when the entered number is 751, the last digit is 1. We could have written. So how should we write that? So you can write that by using f string. So let me spare some quality time and teach you. So the syntax here of f string, you will write under print and then f, and here you will write quotes. So whatever you will be writing inside here, it will be printed as it is. For example, let me demonstrate the same here. F. The last digit is, and whenever you will be referring to any variable or any namespace that you have created in your program, you will write that in curly braces. For example, in our case, last digit is a variable, so we will write that, and let's see, 751. So the last digit is 1. So with time you will come to know about f string in a better manner, but start using f strings. It will be good whenever you will work with big programs. So once again, you will need to write f, then double quotes. Then you can write the statement that you want to be printed as it is. And if you want any variable or to be displayed over here that contains some value, you need to write those in curly braces. That's all. So we have done this program. So let's see the given answer. Yes, the answer is right. The logic is also right. So now let's come to the second program. Write a Python program that finds a remainder when a number is divided by 4. So how would I do this question? So user is entering any number, let's say 17. So when you divide 17 by 4, the quotient is 4 and you will get remainder 1. So you just need to say the remainder. So you can again use modulus operator. So let me make changes. So now you will divide the given number by 4, and here you will get the remainder. The remainder when num So as I thought that we should use proper name of variable. So using here last digit is not appropriate. So we will use remainder variable. So by rem. So make sure to use proper variable names, because when you do so, if there is some bug in the program, it will help you a lot in debugging in a proper manner without wasting a lot of effort. Let's enter the number 17 and the remainder is 1, and the statement that we had used using f string, it's getting printed that the remainder when 17 is divided by 4 is 1. Perfect. Now let's check with another number as well. Let's check with 15. So 4 3s are 12, 13, 14, 15. The remainder must be 3. Let's check the same. Yes, the remainder is 3 as well. Now we shall move ahead and let's review the solution once. Yes, the solution that we made is perfectly right. So now we are encountering third problem, two number splitter description. Write a Python program that takes two number and extracts both its first and last digit. So in this program, let me write the program. So how should we do so? So the program is asking, well, let me explain the problem statement so that it would be easy for all of us. So the problem statement is here that we need to take two digit number from user, and then we need to say that this is the first digit and this is the last digit, second digit or the last digit, because we are taking two digit number. So before heading directly to the program, let's let's build the logic behind this. So whenever you will divide any number by 10, we know that you will get the last digit as remainder. What about the first digit? So for example, 71 divided by 10. So the quotient will be 7 and remainder will be 1. So whenever you divide any number by 10, you get the first digit as quotient and the last digit as remainder. I hope you got it. If you didn't still get, I am doing the same in whiteboard in order to teach you in a better manner. So let's take a big number, 7 7 0 8. So we need to divide this. Sorry, we had the constraint of taking two digit number only. So let's take 62. So we are given here 62, and now we need to say that this is the first digit and this is the second digit. But as you are already seeing this 62 I have entered, so you can directly say, but we are working here dynamic input because user will enter the input. Therefore, we need to build the logic and then apply the same in our program. So let's divide this by 10. So 6 times 10 will give you 60. And in remainder, you will get 2. So our first digit and quotient will always be same, and our last digit and remainder will always be same. I hope you got it, because you can see this very both things are similar and same here, 6 and 6 are similar. So let's apply the same logic in our program. Let's name as num as a variable. Int, we are adding int over here because we need to type convert string to integer. Input enter a two digit number. So for first digit, let's say first digit. So first digit, we need to do floor division because we need only the first digit. If we will do normal division, then we will get points as well, but we do not need a decimal value. Therefore, we will perform floor division over here. Num floor division by 10. And for last digit, As you can see, we get the last digit as remainder, which can be termed in programming manner. We must use modulus. So modulus give us the last digit. So num mod 10 will give you the last digit. Now let me write the print statement. Let me write. Let me continue here. So f string when num is the first digit of num is first and the second digit is last. So let's execute the same. So it's asking us to enter any two-digit number. So we had entered here 62. We had performed the example using 62. Therefore, we will be entering 62 itself. So we are getting the expected output. The first digit of 62 is 6 and the second digit is 2. I hope you got it now. Now we will head over to next topic. So this was the solution. You can check over this as well. I will be uploading the same in the description as well, so that whenever you need to revise, you can revise this. Now comes random numbers. So before studying random numbers, let me give you basic information. So Python offers you to import packages. So packages are something that are made for a very specific purpose. For example, if you will be using data science, or using uh, you will be using any software that holds with that works using data, so you can import numpy or panda. So you can do so by writing a statement import panda or import numpy. So therefore, so packages are built for very specific tasks, you can say. And Python is a great language because Python offers such packages. And if you continue your choose your minor as artificial intelligence or machine learning, you will surely be using NumPy and Pandas and all other such modules. So for now, let's look through the random module. So what's a random module? So before going ahead, random module is a module that is offered by Python. It helps us to generate any random integer number or somewhat like that. So how would you import any module? You need to write import module. So import module name, that's the syntax. So in our case, we need to import random. So we will be writing over here. Let me first of all close this and reopen. Yes, now it's perfect. Import random. We have imported. I need to check whether it works or not. So the first function is random.randint ab. So whenever you will be using modules, for example, there is another module called array. So we might be learning it in the coming lectures. So you will be importing array as import array as ar or simply import array. So here we have imported random. So we will be writing here random as always writing here the module name, and then we will be using a dot over here. Then we will write the function of the module. So the function is randint. So randint it generates a random integer between a and b. So where A and B both are inclusive. So let me write this and show you. So yes, perfect. So what does rand int do? Rand int generates an integer number between the placeholders, between the arguments that we have provided here, 1 and 10. So it will give a generate a number between 1 and 10, and 1 and 10 are inclusive. So in place of 1 and 10, you can write any number whichever you want. So random is used for games and all such things where you need to decide. For example, if you are building any game, let's say Ludo, and you want the users or the players get a integer every time between 1 and 6. For example, if you were playing Ludo, so let's print let me write have a string you have got a. So this time we are getting 2. So it will generate any number between A and B, and including A and B. So the integer rand int, the int in rand, it can help you to understand that it will always generate integer value. I hope you got it now. So see, we every time got a different number. Now we got 5. Now we will be getting 3. It's random. It's completely random. So now we will head over the next function, that is rand range. So what does it do? And what's the difference between both? So rand range has 3 parameters. So first is start, the second is stop, and third is step. So start will say that you start giving values from here. So for example, it's 0. So it will start 0. And stop, you need to stop 10. So 10 won't be printed. You won't be getting 10 anytime. So 10 is the, so 10 minus 1, that's the limit you will be getting. And step, so step will say after the jump, for example 0, then you need to take 2 jump, then 1 won't be printed, 2 will be 0 1 2, then the jump step says the jump, that's it. So let me show you this as well. So as there will be 2 jump, so after 0 there must be 1. Let's see. Yes. So what happened here? We are getting 4. Why we are getting 4? Because the number of jump is specified. There will be 2 jumps in our question. And so what happened? So it started from 0, then it got to 2. Then after 2, it took again 2 jumps. So 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Now we are getting 4. Now again, if we run the program, we may get any other number. Now we are getting 8, but it will never print 10. You can check it multiple times. It will never print 10, and you will be never getting 1 3 likewise, because the jump we have provided here is 2. Now let's change the jump to 3. So from 0, let me show you. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. 10 is not included, therefore we will remove. So now 0, it will directly go to 3. Then after 3, it will take 3 jumps. So first jump here, second here, and fourth here. Sorry, first will take first jump, second jump, and third jump. Then 6 will be displayed, and then first jump from 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 9. So let's see. So we got 6, and we will only get 0, 3, and 9. We got 3 now, and we got 6. We got 3, So it's our luck. We are not getting 1 or nor we are getting 9. It's our luck. So random is completely random. It all depends on the luck. We got 0 this time. I hope you are getting this in a very practical manner. So now and in a rand range, I would like to tell you that the stop is not included. You will be never getting the stop number because that's exclusive in nature, and step is default. If you will mention the step, you will be getting the step that you desired. If you will remove that, or if you forget to write so, then it will take by default 1. Now we will be learning our third function, that is random.random. So random.random will generate float number between 0 and 1, both exclusive. You will be never getting 0 and you will never get 1. So let's see the same over here. You must be noticing over here that we didn't had any parameter over here, but in all others we had parameter. So having a parameter gives us the option that what desired output we need, or what kind of output we need. But whenever there will be no parameter, we will be getting the by default, however it is, whatever it is programmed. So let's perform this as well. And now I taught you earlier that random will generate a float number, and we got a float number over here that is 2.5 and it continues. So yes, we have done over this. Then random dot choice, random element from a list. I will be teaching you lists, then you can get this all things in a better manner. Shuffle, that it will shuffle the list. For example, I have a list. So let me give you a brief overview about list. So list is a type of data type in which you can store elements, and the list you can ask square brackets. So using shuffle function, it will just shuffle the elements. For example, if the elements of the list was A, B, and C, now it will become B, C, A, or anything. Likewise, a random dot sample list comma k. So it will random k unique elements. We will be discussing all these three in the coming videos, because I am not taught to list data type. We will be learning different data types: string, list, tuple, sets, and all other such things. So we are given here a question: dice simulator description. Write a Python program that stimulates rolling a single die and displays the result. So I guess we already did this, but as we are learning random for the first time, I will definitely do this again and show you. So the first line is always random, import the random. So whenever you will be working with modules, you need to import the mentioned module, or if you don't do so, your program won't work. So make sure to import that. And the question was dice. So among different random functions, so we are dice gives the values of between 1 to 6, both inclusive. So we can either get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, any one number at a time. So now let's solve this question. So you can either solve this question by random randint or random range. Any of them, both of them will be working fine over here. So let me create a function dice number. Dice number. So dice number is a function over here. Random dot rand int. I think it must be working. Random.randint. And now we will be giving the parameters. So they start it with 1 and it will go till 6 and inclusive. Now print f string you got dice number when you rolled the dice. So let's implement the same. Let me clear the terminal first of all. You got one when you roll the dice. Let's now again run the program. We got 3 this time. This time again we got 3 and 2, 3, 3, 3. Now we got 6. Now we got 6 again. Now we got 5. So you can see that we are getting every time different number, and that's the speciality of random module, that you will be getting a different number every time. It's not necessary, but there is the number you will getting is completely random. There is no clue that what you will be getting. I wanted to give importance to this feature as well, and I did so by running the program several times. Now we got 2, and you can clearly say we are getting any number, but the parameters, between the parameters that is given over here, that is 1 to 6 both inclusive. So let's move forward. We are given different another question over here. Write a Python program that generates and displays one random integer between 5 to 15, one random even number between 0 to 10, and one random float number between 0 to 1. So this question tests our whatever we have learned till now. So before heading to the question, I would like to explain you. We need to generate a Python program. We need to write a Python program in which the first condition displays one random integer 1 to 15. So the first is requirement random integer between 1 to 15. The second is one random even number between 0 to 10. Second is random even number between 0 to 10. And third is one float number between 0 to 1. So how will you do so? Let's look over the first requirement. The first requirement is, it is asking us to generate one random integer. So how will you be generating integers? So integer can be generated either by rand range or rand int. So we will be using rand int in our case. So rand int, the solution is rand int, and what will be the parameters? 1 to 15, and this will generate one random integer between the given range, that is 1 to 15, as we have mentioned. The second requirement, the question is asking us, it is asking us to generate one even number between 0 to 10. So can we use rand int? Let me know in the comment section. So rand int, if you will write 0 to 10, then it will display any random integer between 0 to 10. It can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, anything till 10. Even 10 will be displayed. And it is asking us even number. So it want to be the correct manner. So we need to use rand range in this case. Rand range. Why rand range? Because it is asking to generate only even number, and even number can be generated if we will take the step as 2. So let's start with 0 till 11, because the last is excluded, and the step is 2. Because why 2? Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 11, till 10, because 11 would be considered. So our let's say over here there is some boy at 0, and 0 will be taking 2 steps. So after one step it will go to 1. Again after one step it will go to 2. Now 2 will be printed, and yes, 2 is a even number. So after 2, this guy can again take 2 steps. So first step it will go to 3 and then 4. Likewise it will work. And the last question is saying one random float number between 0 to 1. So this is given by random. So random will give any float number between 0 to 1. So let's do the same. Import random perfect integer ran int. Let's give this variable name random dot rand int. So let's put the parameters 5 to 15. Now rand even equals to random dot rand range 0 to 11 and step is 2, and rand float, it will be random dot random. Now let's print what a coincidence, we are getting 8, 8 and 0.6. So in the first one that asks us to print any random integer between 1 to 15, we are getting 8, and any random even number between 0 to 10, we are getting 8, and any float, we are getting 0.6, and it continues. So let's again run the program, and this time we got 9, 0 and 0.8. Our program is perfectly correct, and each and every time we can see that it is generating completely random integers or random numbers. So that's the speciality of random module. Now let's move ahead. So the same is given over here. You can go through this. Now comes Boolean expression. So Boolean expression will be used, is usually used in digital logics. So what is Boolean expression? So the result of Boolean expression is either true or false. It has just two results. You can't get any third result. For example, it is raining, yes or no, or 5 is greater than 2. Is 5 greater than 2? Then the result is no. 5 is not greater than 2, or yes, 5 is greater than 2. So is 5 greater than 2? Yes, 5 is greater, the answer will be true. So likewise, it has only two results, two output, either 0 or 1, or you can say false or true. In whenever you will be using, you will be studying digital logics in electronics, you will be representing true by 1 and false by 0. This concept will be used in different fields. So please pay attention in this. We have 6 operators over here. First is equal to. The symbol is double equal to, 2 times assignment operator. The second is not equal to, greater than, less than equal to. I want to make sure that in most of the programming languages, the symbols remain almost same. If you will be studying Python, for example, you are studying Python right now, you will be studying C, C++, Java, Go, or any other. Most of the will remain same, but some of them may differ, but the logic behind them will always remain same. So if you will study here in a proper manner, whenever you will shift to programming language, it will be definitely be beneficial to you. So let's start with double equal to. So double equal to will be true if and only if both the sides are copy of each other. it must be completely identical. So similar won't work, it must be identical. Not equal to, when both of are strictly not equal to each other, so they must be not identical. I hope you're getting that. So inverse of equal to is not equal to. Greater than, it's the normal. 5 is greater than 3, true, the result is true. Less than 5 is 3 is greater than 5, the result is false. Greater than equal to, so 5 is greater than or equal to 5, that is true. And less than or equal to, 3 is greater than, 3 is less than or equal to 5, sorry, then the result is false. I hope you are getting this. I will implement the same over here. Actually this part needs practice, so it's very easy. Just you need to pay attention. 5 is we are getting true over here because 5 is really greater than. Now we will say 10 and it will return false. Now say, is 5 equal to 5? It's true. Now I want to test your knowledge. I am assigning a variable. Let's say A is having 5. Now B is having also 5. But the data type of A is integer and data type of B is string. So do they contain the same value? Yes. Is the data type same? Definitely no. So let me print A is equal to B. So it must return false. Let's see. Yes, it is false. Now let's make it string by explicit type conversion. Now let's see. It must return true. Yes, now it's true. But what if we will write integer? So now I have again typecasted it to int. So let's see. Now it's false. Now again I will typecast this to int. Now I will typecast A to int. It's true. So what happens? First of all, the value of the data type of 5 was integer. Then I converted into string. Then I again converted into integer. This is called explicit type conversion. Now talking about B, the default data type that I had assigned to B was string. And then I type converted it to integer. So now both of them are not. Now both of them are same. Let me experiment the same with float. Yes, float is also true. So let's continue our discussion. So we shall be, it's a normal IT Python program that demonstrates all comparison operators with two numbers. Let's go have a look over this. These little things may take some time, but it's very necessary to understand them in better manner. So we are taking x as 10 and y as 20. So the first is x equal to 10? So it is true. So it must return true. Is x and y not equal? Then yes, 10 and 20 are not equal. It must return true, and yes, it will return true. We will look over this. So third is x greater than y? So is 10 greater than y? Is 10 greater than 20? Then answer is false. We will look over that as well. Is 10 less than 20? Then yes. Is 10 greater than equal to 10? Yes, 10 is equal to 10. And is 20 greater than or equal to 20? It is true. Let's run this. And yes, we are getting the desired result. Now moving forward. Now comes logical operators. So right now you learned about Boolean expressions. And now you will be learning about logical operators. So there are three logical operators that is being taught here. The first is AND, the second is OR, and third is NOT. So when is AND? When do you use AND? If talking about regular English, I have a notebook and a pen. So that means I have both. I have notebook as well as I have pen. If I say I have got today I will go either market or swimming pool. So I will go any one place, not both of them. I will not go to market. That means I will, if that means I will not go to market. I won't. You can't find me in market. That's it. So if I say and, then that means both the things must be true. For example, I will go to market and swimming pool. Then it means that I will go to the both places. I may go to swimming pool first, then market, or market first, then swimming pool. It all depends on me. If you are, I will say that I will go to swimming pool or market. So I can either go to swimming pool or market, whichever will be good for me. But it can't be true that I will not go anywhere, then it's false. Means my statement was incorrect. I said a wrong thing. So that's all. Now let me implement the same. So print, let me check if one. Okay, nice. So I would be teaching you a new thing over here to you as well. So and will be true only when both of them are true. So let's check. So we have given here print true and false. The result must be false. And yes, it is false. Now we will write true and true. The result is both of them are true, so it must be true. Now let's change to or, true or true. So yes, it is true because I said that I will go market or swimming pool, and yes, I went to both of them. That it's completely fine. And if I didn't go anywhere, that it's wrong. For example, false and false or false. False or false will written false. But true or false? True. So and not will just negate the result. Not true. So not true is false, and not false. Not false, then the answer must be true. Okay. If you are having confusion, then I am again repeating it. And will be true when both the conditions are true, or will be true when any one of them is at least true and not reverses the condition. If I say not true, then it becomes false, and if I say not false, then it is true. For example, it is not raining, so that means if I say it is not 2 o'clock, so there is no relative example I can't find for not, but for rest 2 I did give. So moving ahead, conditional statements. So now we were heading to the actual topics that needs discussion in this unit. So first is conditional statements, and the first conditional statement is if. So how do you say in English that if it will be not raining, I will go to play? So it's like if the condition is true, means it didn't rain, then you must have gone to play. Same in Python as well. We write if, then condition. For in our case, it was not raining, then we went to play. And let's say if it was raining, then we must have not gone to play that day. So the same is syntax if we were at the condition block of code. So if condition, let's say num equals to 2. Let me first give a number input. Num equals to int input. If num is equals to 2, print it is 2. So So in this program, in the first line, I am asking user to enter any number. In the second line, I am checking that if the number is 2. So how will you check that? By the double equal to. We just learned about Boolean operators and it was one of them. And in the third, it is a conditional statement that if it is true, then it must print this. It is true. So let me enter 3 first of all. It didn't give me any output because the number that I entered and the condition didn't match. If I had entered 2, it must return it was 2. So now let me enter 2. Yes, it is. I hope you got this. It is the first time you are studying conditional statements. So if you are having any query, make sure to comment the same. And now I will be going ahead. I think I need some more. This topic needs some more practice, so I am doing so. So let's give the condition. Now say number. Int input. Enter your name. If name is equal to sham, then sham was entered. So in this question, we are saying user to enter the string over here. So you need to enter name. You can enter your name over here and it will check if your name is Sham, then it will say Sam. For example, let's do for first grade. So in our case, there is a school, okay, and in that school, Sham is a boy over there, and Sham has got first grade. So this is very primitive example. So our school has very less number of kids, and no one names gets repeated. It's a hypothetical situation. So how will this work? So when Sham will enter his name, then he will get this result. So let's enter your name. Let's say my name is Elias. So Elias didn't get anything. So we are not getting any output and we must resolve this. We will be resolving this in the upcoming conditions when we will learn if else, if elif, then we will get. For now, let's now again enter Sham. And yes, we are getting Sham. You got first grade. So if will work when the condition is true. If the condition is false, then no output will be printed under the if condition. If you have written over something here, that is print today is Friday. So it will get printed because it is not under the scope of this if condition. So you can do so by you can see the indentation. If the indentation is similar, it is under the if condition. If there is no indentation or the uniformity of indentation is not same, then it's not under the same scope. It has been created different scope. Enter your name. Let's say Alice. Let's say Raman. So today is Friday. That's all. So now we will be studying if else statement. So what if else statement? So the syntax is if the condition is true, then this part of code will run, and if the condition is false, then this part of the code will run. So after if you need to write the condition, then the things you need to print or whatever statement you want to get printed or anything, whatever the expressions you will write over here, and under the else part, if the condition will fail, then what you want to do so. So let's say improve our question. So you just gave an exam, okay? So in your exam, it was of maths. So the question was quite tough. So if you got 40 marks in the exam, you are passed. And if you didn't get 40 marks, you are failed. So how will you check that? So let's see. So our program will ask you to enter your marks, and it will check whether the marks is greater than 40 or equal to 40, then you are passed. And if it is less than 40, then you are failed. So let's make the program num int. Actually, we must use float because some of the students have got 39.5. So whether is he pass or fail? So he must be fail because it's not 40. Your marks. So now I am writing if. Now the condition. Let me change the variable name to marks. So if marks is greater than or equal to 40, print you have passed this subject. Else, print you have failed this subject. So I hope you got this. So in our program, users will be entering their marks, and then we will decide if the marks is greater than or equal to 40, then the user has passed. And if it is less than 40, then user has failed. So let's look over this. So let's say let's say someone has got 15, so he's failed. Someone got 39, he's again failed. Someone got 39, so he's failed. Now someone luckily got 40, so he's passed. So in order to make our program more appealing, or I would say add more expression so that it will look better, so let's say name, we will declare a variable input, enter your name. So in the print statement now we will use f string, and we write dear name, and we will write a comma over here and write dear name. Perfect. I think the program must work. Let's see. Enter your name. Let's say the student name is Sham, or let's give some different Ramesh. Now Ramesh marks is 39. So, oh, I forgot here F. Therefore, I was thinking there must be some issue with this. So let me clear first of all. So let's give our name. So let's give our name as Tanu. So Tanu has got 47 marks. So we are getting, dear Tanu, you have passed this subject. So I hope you're clear. Now let's give some other name, Raman. So Raman got 15 marks, 1 5. So 15 is less than 40. So Raman has failed. I hope you got this program. So now I will be heading to different. So this was the given statement. You have passed or failed. I hope you got it. So now the leap year. So before going to this question, I would like to teach you leap year. What's leap year? What's a leap year? So leap year is the year in which February month has 29 days. I hope you are knowing this. This is caused due to lunar effect and all such things. So how would you know that any year is a leap year? For example, 2024, which just got passed a few years back, 2 years back. So it was a leap year. We had 29 days in the February month. So how did you find it that out? You took out the calendar and you looked at the February month, and yes, there were 29 days, and you said that yes, it's a leap year. So if I say find that 2000 and 2040. So you will find the calendar of 2040 and you will say that let's look the February month, and if it has 29 dates, then it's a leap year. So you can do so, but there is no issue in doing so. But that's quite exhaustive in nature. So we will be talking about the mathematics behind this. So any number which is divisible by 4, any year which is completely divisible by 4, that means the remainder must be 0, and which is not divisible by 100. So whenever we will divide and it is not divisible by 100, or let me just write over here, year completely divisible by 4 and year must not be divisible by 100. This is one condition. So why is this condition given over here? I will say about that. And sorry, or the year is completely divisible by 400. So in both the scenarios, it will be leap year. So let's take 1900. So is 1900 divisible by 4? Yes, it is. Is 1900 divisible by 100? Yes, it is. 19. So can we say that 1900 is a leap year? Then let's go to the calendar and check it out. So better to switch to Google Calendar. I need to scroll a lot, I think. So here we are having the calendar of 1900. So when you look the month of February, so 1900 is completely divisible by 4. So if many of you were having confusion that a year is divisible by 4, it must be a leap year. So see, so in 1900 there is no 29, so it's not a leap year. So the key is, if a month is, if any year is divisible by 4, completely divisible, and it is not divisible by 100, then it's a leap year. Or you can say that, for example, 2004. Is 2004 divisible by 4? Yes, it is. Is 2004 divisible by 100? No, it is not. The result is in decimal and it's 20.04. That means 4 is the remainder in this case. So let's go to the calendar of 2004. So yes, in 2004, February do has 29 days. So it's a leap year. Or any year, if it has 400, it is completely divisible by 400. So this is the conditions. I hope you got it now. So for example, is 1900 divisible by 400 completely? So it's not. So this is the conditions. So we need to say if a year is leap year or not. I hope you got it. Now let me make the question for this year. Int input enter any year in y for so if what I said, if year is completely divisible by 4 and year is not completely divisible by 100 and year is completely divisible by 400, print well, let's see if our program is working perfectly on that. So let's enter 1900. It is not a leap year. Let's enter 2004. Yes, it is not a leap year. I guess there is some issue in our code and year is completely divisible. So if year model state and so I mistook here as over. So let's enter 2004. Is it is a leap year? I hope you are done with this. So I'm explaining again. If the year is completely divisible by 4 and it is not completely divisible by 100, it is a leap year. And then comes second condition. If the year is completely divisible by 400, then it is also a leap year. So let's check with the various different years. So let's check 1804. Now let's check with yes, 624. It is a leap year. Let's check with 2032. It is a leap year. So I hope you got this. So that's all for today. In our next lesson, we will start with if, elif, else. So thank you for so much. If you have any issues, then you can comment the same. For any feedback, you can comment that as well. I will look over that and I will work on that. Thank you so much.